Hey everybody, how's it going? It is me, Alexander the Williamson, the Fishery. So today we are going to review some of the submitted tanks that you guys have sent in, and accordingly, we'll try to give some feedback. Now, earlier today, if any of you guys caught the stream that I was on earlier, uh, I was very, very tired still. The last few days I've been very, very tired with the Benadryl and the steroids, all the medications I have to take, literally feeling like I'm a zombie or something. But I took a little nap, so hopefully I'll be doing better, and hopefully we'll get through this together. I just didn't want to miss today's opportunity to do this because I've been saying I'm going to do it, and I want to do it. So if I do start fading, let me know, guys. Let me know if I'm being lackluster, because I would, yes, a popping a box of antihistamines. Yeah, no. Hopefully, not doing that this time. I haven't taken any for, I don't know, 6 hours or something like that, but I just didn't sleep last night, and then today, the same medicine mix that gets me real tired. Uh, I guess maybe I'm divulging too much, but let me just be frank. So I have anti-anxiety and anti-depression medication that I take as well, and that mixed with antihistamines like Benadryl, and then hydrazine is the other one they give me for preventing basically welts and hives that boil up like this on all my joints, and sometimes on my face that you might notice, like my eyes and stuff. That's usually more the lupus, where you get this very specific rash that's red that comes up into here and into here, called butterfly rash. Anyways, it's inflammation of the connective tissue. So then when they give me uh prednisone, which is a steroid, that actually revs up your mind and your immune system. Well, it tones down your immune system, but it revs up your body's ability to fight inflammation. And it kind of is like an upper and a downer at the same time. And then add in tired, add in the anxiety medication, add in anti-inflammatory medication and an anti-seizure medication, because of the petit mal seizures that I have had ever since my head injury. And it's not the prettiest thing, but I just can't put my life on hold for it. So let's try to get through this. Let's try to bust through this. I enjoy this. So we're going to probably put you guys on screen also, just because I feel like I look at myself and then I get self-conscious when I am in this mode sometimes. And looking at the actual camera, the way it's set up, I still need to figure out how we can get around this, but it is a matter of, I'm looking at the screen down here, and because my eyelids are also swollen, it always makes it look like my eyes are like barely open whenever I'm looking down, rather than looking up at the camera. So we'll probably just look at your tanks, actually, you guys, and anything that comes up in chat that I see that we want to talk about. If you have questions, just at Fishery, you can get at me. So yeah. If I see Gollymon, yeah. If he's a troll, yes. Yeah, okay. Coro, what's up? How are you doing? Andy, what's going on? Who else is in here? Volcanics, hello. Did you know that for chat chance, fishery in front of a mirror, Alex will be early for his stream? Yeah, it's not true. I mean, yeah, not yeah. You actually have to do it behind a mirror. I don't know how you get behind a mirror, but I mean, do it. Yeah, it does help though if you crack a dulled copper pepper, blah 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 blah. If you crack a cold Dr. Pepper, uh, I can hear it from several countries away. Miss Hissyfit, hello, Brew Brew, welcome. like the name. Ire first. Hello. You got a rock festival going on? Nice. Dave, what's going on? Why 7:20 and not like 7:30 for the start time of the stream? Well, the reason is because this morning when I was on another stream on another channel, I said I'm gonna try to stream at 4:30 Pacific time. I got to go pick some things up and drop some things off for my wife downtown Seattle. And I said it depends on traffic. So I will start streaming whenever I get back. Hopefully I'll be back by 4. That didn't happen. I got back at like 4:15. So I'm streaming now, which happens to be 20 or so, 20, 25 after the fact is when we started. So that's why the start time was when it was. Although I do like weird start times. Like that actually does make me have warm in my belly happy thoughts. Cave of Wonders, what's going on? Jeff Kane, Linda Worth, Al Habib, hello, welcome. Let's see here. Bwizzle, what's going down? How's it going? Oscar Jungle Tank, what's going down? Amisa, hello, good afternoon. Yes. Shady Grady, good to see you. First Class Fish. What the heck? We like the 30-minute wait and speculating what you're doing. Yeah, I'm sure. John Monroe, what's going on? Yes, hopefully I am feeling better. The thing is, like, I think I'm doing better. And then, like, what happens is if I sit too long sometimes is then all of a sudden I start getting tired and I start getting kind of like hypnotized by the screen, like that blue eye, whatever they call it, the blue light hypnotism kind of thing. That is why they say you shouldn't do it before you go to sleep. Like it puts your brain into some certain mode. Anyway, Fishion Tank Dicks, what's up? Sketty Nona, how's it gonna be? How's it gonna be? Do 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 do. Blizzle, does smoking help any of that? I would be useless if I smoked herb before the show. CBDs do seem, and THC though, do help with seizures. The specific kind I have actually. I wish I used it, but I just don't. I don't know. I just don't like it. It makes me anxious, bottom line, and it makes me feel stupid. I can't recall what I want to recall as quickly as I'd like to recall it. I need to resend you the office build, the Driftwood. Oh, gotcha. Drifters Workshop. All right, no worries. We'll be around. Oh, Sketty's got Pib Extra today. That's like you're like everyone's like, hey, I'm at the Coca-Cola party, and you're like, hey, I got some RC, guys. You want to have some RC? Um, let's see here. Don't worry about it, Alex. I looked the same when my back went. I was on a lot of tablets that were opiate based. It was forever nodding off, taking them at the hospital. Oh yeah, Donna. If I was doing that, I would be jumping up and down because those I had a real problem with those, and they always just gave me energy when I used to use those. Other than my surgery, though, it's actually coming up on the anniversary of me. It'll be 15 years since I've drank alcohol or abused any substance. That's how I'll put it. With 2 relapses in there. Probably just demonetize my stream, by the way, by saying that, which is so silly, so sad that it does that. JTTR, welcome and thank you so much for the super sticker, getting us started off the right way. The right way is the money way. I'm just gonna put it out there. JTTR knows how the right way is. If you have no money, I have no love for you. I don't want no scrubs. A scrub is a fish keeper that can't get no love from me. Michelle, hello. How's it going? Good to see you as well. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to see you. Good morning. Good morning. You and you and you. Nat Theobald, hello. Who else do we have? Hey, Jose Torres, another $5, and he's also a member. What an upstanding citizen. You don't even have anything to say or ask me? Boy, I am a lucky boy today, and it is much appreciated. Thank you. Like I said, I'm trying to get in the another trip soon. I don't know to where. Obviously, I'm going to LA to talk at the Scape meeting slash Scape conference thing. It's a meeting. It's the first in-person meeting that the club is having in years. Since before the lockdowns, and I'm honored to be one of the first visitors and the first speaker. So that'll be fun. It's in Long Beach on July 22nd. Whatever Friday it's right near the 22nd. If it's not the 22nd, I'll be flying into town on Friday, and then on the 22nd, so that should be Saturday, right? I'll be speaking. And yeah, 60 watching and only 18 likes. What a crime. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Lee. You tell him. Soldier Boy, tell him. Patty's Aquatics, what's going on? Good to see you. Miss Hissy. Yeah, I like that name too. It's fun to see other people address it as well. Also, Fish Tropic Canada, what's going on? Good to see you. Fish, you still have to be better than half the other channels. Fish pass. You know what? If I am an average fish channel, that makes me a little bit sad, but it means that, half the people I know are still worse than me if I'm an average fish channel. Matt, what's going on? Good to see you. Of course, I'm losing my steam caught up to the chat. Slossers, hello. What's going on? Also, we got James Nguyen. What's going on with you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, Donna, I agree. 25 years. Congratulations. That is awesome. I mean, if that works for you. To me, I don't want to judge other people's lives. For me, actually, it wasn't so much the having a drink was the problem, because it turned into 15 or 20 or 30, and then I would go out and wander around and be very friendly and open and talkative and silly and reckless. The other things I was using, I've always had really bad chronic pain, and I really got more of an energy boost because of the fact that most nights I just don't want to go out and do anything. Like, I'm in pain. It takes a lot of energy to be in pain. And so when that's gone, you kind of are more outgoing. It's kind of a weird conundrum, or not conundrum, but oxymoron, or whatever you want to call it. But hello, Brandon. Hello, Aquatics. What's up? Happy Friday. Right on. Yes, yes. Nice. You got new baby endlers. That's always great. JTTR's got coming in with another super chat. $5.99, so kind. And Joshua Abshire too. Man, you guys, thank you so much. I am seriously trying to take all of these, set them aside, and we either need new equipment for the show, because obviously I need to get a new laptop. This laptop, as kind as it was to be gifted to me and everything, it is a little it's got an Intel Core i5. It can bit mine, but I don't think it could edit like a 4K video to save its life. Like, it could edit maybe 1 minute of that, and then it would freeze, lag, and crash. But it's good enough for what we're doing here, and we're gonna keep on doing it on balling on a budget. Let's just call it that. Lindisfarne Druids, what's going on? Rebel Mac, what is going on? Well, we got lots of folks rolling in here. So Cody V, hello as well. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watched the video I made today, but there is a video up that the YouTube decided not to show to most of you, I guess, apparently. It did really, really well for 2 minutes. And then it went from a click-through rate of like 40%, which is nuts, all the way down to, I think, like 6 or something. But it's okay. Can't win them all, but it's about the fish that have been discovered this spring. So if you want to see pictures and maps and some other little odds and ends and hear the story about how they found new rice fish, new cichlids, new geo earth eaters, new what Hyphosobracron tetras, new rivulus and fundulus Achilles, new related to blue gambusia, blue galaris, and then a whole bunch of other things like cave fish. And yeah, so it's just been pretty wild. But there's some cool stuff that they've been discovering, and I didn't even have time to cover all of it in that video. So if you watch it, let me know if you want to see like more detail about any one of the freshwater species that I cover. Josie Aqua, what's going on? Been watching your videos since lockdown. Appreciate well, I lost it. Where did it go? The Authentica way you engage with the hobby and people. I have an ecosystem tank set up. Thanks, dude. Right on. Well, thank you very kindly, and I'm glad you feel that way, and I'm glad you bought the lie, hook, line, and sinker. Michelle Barnhill, what's up? Podcaster in Erie, hate those evil lizards. Yes, evil lizards. I got a video this morning. Yeah, you got the video this morning. Right on. Good to hear. So, and I thank you for it. For those of you few who did get alerted or did come to see it, maybe some people just weren't interested. That's fine too. Thanks for bragging, Lee. What good does that do me, sir? What good does that do me? All right, let us start. Let us start with the first aquarium of today. Going G, welcome. All right, let's get this show on the road. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. I sound like Foghorn Leghorn, not like I don't even know who does that song. The Collard Greens or something. Oh no, Black Eyed Peas. That's what they're called. Let's get it started, and yeah, and the actual real name of that song is "Let's Get It R Word" that we're not supposed to say anymore in here, which hilarious. Okay, gotta open Sesame. Where is that ability on the software everywhere? Software everywhere. Do you have a deep dive video on all the different types of Siloaceae shrimp? I don't. It's very, very hard to find good photos on all of them. Now, Chris Lukoff does have a poster with, I think 64 of the shrimp. Now there's like 100 or so known species, and I think around 80 described. But yes, Slossers, wheat tarted. Yes. Never go full wheat tarted. Exactly. Is this giving me just what I needed? I needed someone to please. I'll give you just what I needed. Collaborations of curiosity. What is going on? How are you? You. All right, so we're gonna be notorious. Let me get me out of here so we can see who's going up for getting made fun of. No, who's up for feedback on their aquariums? Hide the main man. There we go. That's what we needed here. So let's read over from Andrea Basso. Alex, hello. I hope you are doing well. Wanted to share with you my 8-gallon Celestial Pearl Danio tank, CPD. I have 6 of them in here, about 10 chili rasboras, a small colony of Neocaridina, and lots of Cyclops, etc. It's planted with pearlweed pinnatifida, which I'm guessing is the European or UK version that they call it. Tissue culture, probably. We'll see, though. We'll take a look soon. The Ludugia Super Red, Taiwan moss, and some Salvinia on top. Yeah, it's like a garnish. Man, they're making it fancy. It's my first tank, and I've learned a lot from you. So I think I have to thank you for helping me making this a success. Well, that is too kind of you. Let's actually, before I say that, let me look at your let me look at your tank. If it's a piece of junk, then we will. Holy smokes, that's your first tank, and you got basically carpeted. You got a poor man's carpet. That's that pearl weed. That and I mean, or I guess you could probably do it with glossostigma, or you could maybe do it with stargrass. There's a number of choices, but you can get that uh, that carpeting look like you see here, and that growth. If you keep it trimmed, the trimming is really important. Once it's rooted, you want to keep trimming it so that it makes more nodes and it gets denser and denser. So you trim, you wait a week or whatever, and then you trim again over and over, and you'll get yourself eventually a pretty dense little shrub rather than just loose leaves floating all over that aren't anchored to anything but have these big spindly nutrient seeking roots that they throw out. Now what's interesting about this also is the pinnatifida, all this stuff, it's in very shallow substrate, so that can be tricky to keep these plants down. So one of the things that I would advise if you're trying to do this on your own is, even if you don't want a deep substrate tank or whatnot, is to think about getting a cap of either sand or fluorite or any of those um, materials that are a bit darker in color usually. And you can put that on top as a cap on top of the base, especially if you're going to have shrimp and things in here. And I can tell that this tank had just a lovely amount of care. Whoops. What? Okay, there we go. Let's look at another picture of it if my mouse will work. All right, so now we can see the lights that are set up on it. So it looks like these are are these Fluval 2s? Hard to tell if one of them might be a Fluval 2. They actually kind of look like the Aquarium or the Aqua Sky type setup, maybe. The stripes on their back, it makes it hard to know. The heat vents. Now, the plants, I mean, they look phenomenal. They're very well kept. Also, you can see this kind of S shape in the tank. Love that. Love that there's this kind of hourglass figure in the tank. It looks really cool. It's dynamic. It leaves open space, but it leaves a channel for those 6 CPDs and the chili rasboras to glide through, swim through here, and then kind of congregate here. Or if they get nervous, they can work their way back in here. And let's show you the next one. It's got a hang off the back filter, so it's going to be plenty aerated. I'm guessing water changes are probably fairly common for this. And also it looks like they've got a home CO2 reactor, which is probably citric acid and the activated little baby brine. Oh, no, not, sorry. I'm thinking of the brine shrimp factory, but the activated citric acid and the vinegar to activate CO2 from coming out. And there's lots of different methods out there, though. Some you can use gelatin and other things to get a more dense chunk of the substance that once it's broken down chemically, it's still going to go at the same rate. So if you use gelatin or gel in that way, it'll work pretty well. Let's see here. Let's take a look at the plants again. So again, the light, even though those lights aren't super powerful, it's a shallow enough tank and there's enough nutrients in there, probably a fertilizers in there of some sort, I would guess. Be it root tabs or liquid fertilizer. Liquid fertilizers are fine to use. Just remember that they run a little bit hot, especially on your nitrates, even once your tank is cycled. And you sometimes, when all you're getting is like flake food or cheaper food, and when I say that, it's all relative, but I'm talking about food that's just not at the very high end of things, essentially. And then there's the other far spectrum of wild caught individual things, which is actually even higher than the high end purchasable food. But because of that, you get things like phosphates and things like that building up, and over time I could see this filter probably will end up with some hair algae in its midst, intertangled. And that's totally fine to have algae in your system. In fact, all these little fish would, get along and do well, feeling very secure in and amongst all of this Rotala, Atra, or Florida Ramosio, or whatever this cut is here. So beautiful plants, and a lot of them happen to be very fine leaf, which is great too. Let's see, the Taiwan moss. Yeah, I mean, good job. I don't know what more a boy could ask for. I mean, I think that's a pretty sweet setup. All right, let's see here. So let me go into here. Let's pop back over to StreamYard real quick. I just want to make sure you guys are doing okay. Let's see. What's up, Kenny? How's it going, my brother? If anybody needs my specific support, at Fishery is a good way to get a hold of me. Oh, and wow, we've got it looks like we got another $10 super chat. Thank you so very much from Canada, but from Frank Birkin. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Frank. That is very, very kind of you to do. And he said, "Greetings from Canada. Thanks for your entertaining, informative, and oftentimes unique content." Yeah, I'm a weirdo. I make some weird content sometimes, right, guys? Y'all know that. Y'all know how I roll. Rebel Mac, what's up? Rebel Mac, like mac and cheese? I'm gonna assume so because I can. It's my channel. Shark Fin Adventures. Hello, welcome. What is a shark fin adventure? Is that when you hold on to the fin of a shark and it pulls you around, or is that like when you get a bowl of soup and a big old ginsu knife on a trawling ship out the Japanese Antarctic trawlers? Let's see here. All right, well, let's take a look at this next one here, and we'll get this quote this communique off the screen if I can, if my mouse will work. Again, remember last time nothing was going right. My mouse didn't work. Nothing worked. The usual content is one of the reasons we watch and love the channel. Oh, shucks. Well, thank you very kindly, Kira Ghost. That's very nice of you to say. All right, let's get more to the next tank, which right here we can see on the screen. Let me get to it so I can see it. but it says they've got a 75-gallon community tank, so a big tank. I consider that big anyways. We've got 36 danios. I don't know what kind of danio. Maybe we'll be able to tell in the picture. One gourami, which also don't know what kind, but I'll be able to tell in the picture probably. 8 Amano shrimp, which is pretty bold with having these larger possible things that could eat them, like I mean, a gourami, unless it's a honey gourami or a croaking gourami or a sparkling gourami, it could. Uh, and then 3 mystery snail eggs, or eggs, 3 mystery snails. Those can lay eggs, and then 2 of the nearite snails. Those can't lay eggs in fresh water. They need the salt water, and it makes for a fascinating little combo here, but and some bladder snails. So I would say you could add a whole lot more of something to that tank if you want. But it says tank is 2 to 3 months old, dealing with blackbeard algae and hair algae. How do I keep it from growing without using chemicals? Trying to keep it off my plants, especially my Java moss. I have been thinking about getting a functional about getting a bristle. I don't know where I got the word functional. About getting a bristlenose pleco. I used to dose Flourish and Excel. Uh, Carbon, and I quit both a week ago. Any advice will help. I think not doing the carbon dosing is fine. Carbon dosing not really going to help that much, honestly, unless you've got CO2 gas form. That's really what plants want. It doesn't hurt to have carbon in the actual water, like a few pieces of it, of burnt wood that's burnt at high temperatures without oxygen, which happens in low to the ground brush fires naturally. So it's a naturally occurring part of the evolution of these fish. But when this base, wait, hold on, guys. Just got a message. My wife is home, and and we got another tank to rate. So this tank, I mean, look how much room there is. To me, those almost look like what? They almost look like bloodfin tetras that aren't mentioned elsewhere. I'm trying to think what else did they mention, but I think the layout looks actually very nice. And let's see, are all these plants? It looks like most of them are real, at least, if not all of them. So really good job bringing back to life uh, a hardscape that could be kind of considered inactive. There's not an active organic compound to it. You'd have to build up to get to that point. You're going to have to let your fish poo, your snail poo, and all your digestive team, including your bacteria, your enzymes, all that is going to have to build up that layer for you at the bottom if you want a layer like that. And if you do, you've got to get probably at least another inch. But if you wanted to use if you're using all plants that don't need the aqua soil, like the ones that I see in here really don't need it, you're probably doing fine just running it on medium to low light settings, and just make sure you don't have the light on too much of the day, because the lights don't look super strong. I can't tell for sure what kind of light, but it looks like perhaps they are on the warmer side of the spectrum, which is closer to the warm colors of the dense growth you can get on these kind of shade loving plants, but also on I guess what we call easy plants, but there's not really any such thing as easy versus hard, depending on your water. I mean, if you have hard water, then certain things are just going to be different rather than easy or hard. But I think these are a good choice in that these plants are the ones like the stem plants over here. They're drawing from the water column and the root column. And you've even got like a little hair grass carpet type thing going, maybe with some jungle val or Italian jungle val, Erie Callan, something. I can't tell, but down in here, whatever you got going on in here, the little sprigs of the hair grass looking stuff. It's nice that it's carpeting. I'm very impressed by that. Maybe you have more lights or a CO2 setup that I'm not seeing, but my wife just got home and she just flashed. She got a box of goodies from her work, which sells produce, and we got what, 6 things of corn?
Yeah.
Cool. So
plus the 2 I already bought.
We got 8 pieces of corn to eat, and what, 4 potatoes? Anyways, but yeah, I think this looks great. Really using the Java ferns and the rhizome plants the way they should be. People a lot of times cram them down under the substrate, and actually a lot of people lose the plants because they've put a perfectly good bulb that was working underwater, let's say diplomatically, for the tank. All of a sudden it starts to rot, and then they don't know what to do. But as everybody has kind of seemed to allude to in a lot of these messages, is the question of like, what should I add or not add? What should I do or not do? And I think at first the answer should usually be you don't want to be biting off more than you can chew constantly. You want to push yourself a little bit. But I think this is a great level to enter in. I think the next level above this would be more active substrate, unless there is like an ADA Amazonas soil with ammonia and nitrogen active in it underneath this pea gravel or fluorite or really coarse sand layer. But my guess is it was maybe pretty dusty for a while and then got all clean. Hold on, got all cleaned up. I can't tell if these are power. Oh no, okay, that's a mystery snail there. Okay, and fish are hiding there. Let's see. Yeah, so pretty cool. I would say with the mystery snails, there's still also a decent market, especially for different color morphs and stuff. So if you're into spawning them, go ahead. Just know that when they come up out of the tank, you need to give them like a little space, and they're better in the tanks that have a rim than the rimless ones, because they'll usually lay their eggs at the precipice of where the rim turns over, which is pretty handy. The big cotton candy blob looking egg sac nodules that you're like, holy cow, how did that little snail produce that wad of bubblegum looking eggs? They are truly strange creatures. But yeah, so there's that one. Let me take a look over here at chat real quick again. I don't want to be leaving y'all out. La 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 la. Forever and ever, we're always gonna be judging fish tanks, and forever. All right, let's see here. Swap beer for steak. Okay. I never monitor water parameters. Volcanic says, well, that's great if that works for you. That's great. I don't monitor them tightly. I do if I'm spawning something or if I'm setting up a tank, just to kind of understand where that's going to dial in. I also like to take a water barrel and I guess you could say that, or you could say a bucket, a 5-gallon bucket from Lowe's. But what I'll do is I'll take whatever the substrate layering I've done is, and I'll test it out in a bucket, like a 5-gallon bucket first, and then see how much and how long the ammonia and all that's going to leach off. Because when you plant a tank, and I should do a video on this, a lot of people want to know, like, when can I plant plants into my tank that's cycling? And the answer is before you even have water in it. It is great to have plants in there. They can actually uptake most plants, they can actually uptake the actual ammonia. It doesn't need to be transformed. The reason ammonia needs to be transformed into nitrites and then into nitrates is because the water and all that, once it's cycled, your fish need to be safe, whereas your plants, they're fine sitting in the nitrates. They will slowly absorb it, and your animals will just not particularly like it, obviously. But let's take a look at another one. Let's get a third one in here. First class fish. Ammonia never seems to go up. I wonder if it means I'm already cycled, or if it means or if it's still coming. Nitrates and nitrites are always 0. Well, I think it means you don't have enough bio load in there, Drifter. So if you've never had your ammonia go up, that means that you don't have like some food or a dead fish or just even a living fish. You might want to get a guppy or a danio, something like that, if you're going to get one anyways. Toss it in, feed it a little bit of flake food each day, just a pinch, and get that cycle going. But the thing is, it's always going to be a jump when you stock your tanks and you're trying to say, I want to have 20 fish in this tank, and you're starting with none, but the tank is cycled. Your tank will hold those fish until they create enough waste that they can't hold them, obviously. And that's why the cycle is so important, is because it's, as we talked about in my other video, it's not a full cycle. It would be if the fish ate the plants that that actually consumed the ammonia or the nitrites or the nitrates, but it's not a full cycle. We actually take the nitrates and nitrites and some of the ammonia straight out of the plants by cutting them and trimming them and keeping the tank looking proper, and by doing water changes. So a lot of times people think that no tech or low tech tanks are going to be so much easier, but it actually, you have to make sure that you are monitoring all these things. Let's see here. Yeah, get some water changes done. Nirvana Aquatics. Yeah. We joke over here. Let's see. What does the Irish ambassador have to say? Oh, we joke over here when someone dies. We say, had they any tanks? I hope you get the humor in that. Irish find humor in the darkest of corners. I light a candle for you, you and yours, my friend. Well, thank you. Squilbo Baggins, huh? Is that what's going on? I'm so confused. John, what's up? Also, who did I just see? Oh, Stephen P, 2003. Morwena, how's it going? Good to see you. Right on. Freaky Fish Lady, Miss Holly. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Sorry, that was way creepy. Alex, other than testing for pH, how do you test the efficacy of botanicals? It has to do with just looking at the water too, and knowing your fish, knowing the water. But really, yeah, pH is important. That's going to matter. Your TDS can matter somewhat, but you need to know a baseline of like where that tank would have been running without anything in it, and then you want to see what happens with it in it. And sometimes it's the fact that it's a little bit darker, probably less startling, less sunlight. There's less fish and less what do you call it? Lost the train of thought. The train of thought just left the station. Guys, let's get one more of these in before my brain shuts down and slows down here. Because I wanted to get at least 3 of these done. And yeah, but losing my train of thought is never a good sign. Let's see here. Oh, someone's going to bed. We'll have a wonderful evening. Oh, hissy fit. Yes, you were over in Europe someplace, huh? Have you ever considered going to a pawn shop, getting a flat screen TV you could use to read your comments easier? It would be such an easier time reading them. Pawn shops cheap. Yeah, I have my phone that I can use. I could use I do have another tablet, a little cheapo tablet that I could use. I should do that. The thing is, StreamYard is where I have to control everything, and StreamYard is pretty awful at letting me know certain things, like who gave away free memberships, for instance, or who gave away if you're doing like prize selections or things like that. It'll let you draw from the group that you have in front of you. It'll let you organize things a little differently. It'll let you also put, essentially, as you were saying, it'll let you kind of prioritize different groups and things too. If you're trying to say like, I want to let these people be the mods, or I want to let these people their comments show up, like just members or just super chatters or whatever. So it helps with all that. All right, let's see here. Let's get back to the world of the fish tank. Boy, that's a pretty fish tank. I think it looks great. I mean, you could do, looking at it aesthetically, I mean, it doesn't need a whole lot of commentary, but you could probably do some more crypts or something down there in the front. They would get a little bit taller, so they might outdo the hair grass, which is maybe you're looking to have it all hair grass covered. It's just like I said, without the nitrate, ammonia blends, and potassium, of course, and then they get their CO2 and their sunlight. But out of all those blends that exist out there and stuff, you probably don't need to be dosing with much of anything for this. Let's see here. Hey, what's going on, Dr. Anthony? How's it going? I hope you're having a good evening. Things are going well in Peru. Hey, Doc. My fish tank aquatics. That's who I had episode with earlier today. All right, guys, let's get me out of this one, and we'll go to another tank. Another tank. Put that out of that file. Let's do, since they're here, let's do this one that got submitted. Drifter. Oh, if it's even accessible. Let's see here. Let's see. Is it gonna share? Oh no, it's downloading it into new windows. Hold on. I'll need to get those ready ahead of time, like save them and open them and unzip them. I think that's what happened, is it put them into a zip file for me, or at least that's what I think it's doing. All right, so let's get back to Le Google. I don't know how Aquatic Arts, but by the way, guys, Dan's Fish, Aquatic Arts, Aqua Char, all those places, I still have codes to get money off if you're interested. And they're all in the description at the very top of the description. Why can't I ever find my mouse? The mouse on this thing likes to play hide and go seek, and by hide and go seek I mean hide, and then I don't ever find it. Okay, there we go. All right, back down. So let's do this big old tank. I have, all right, so this is Steve Jones. I have 125 gallon with 4 Oscars, a Beischer or Basher, and mystery snails. Okay, that's interesting. Oscars, Basher, and mystery snails. I'm a little surprised that the mystery snails are doing okay, that they haven't gotten bugged by Beischer or Big by Oscars. Then you got a 75 gallon with 2 Oscars named Olive and Near. Why can't I read that? I have 75 gallons with 2 Oscars and nearite snails. And then last one is a 29 gallon that I'm going to try the no filter method, sand capping the dirt and putting the plants in, and possibly just having feeder goldfish in there to scoop out and throw into the tank, the bigger tanks. I have a little algae problem on both the bigger tanks. The snails aren't doing enough. What is your professional opinion on my setup? Thanks. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. This 120, is that the one? That can't be with a 125, can it? This has got to be the 125. So to me, this is like essentially not a planted tank. Your fish are so young that it doesn't matter here. But you've got bamboo. It looks like lucky bamboo, maybe. And then you've got a couple little, like a fake plant of some sort. I don't know if any of the other plants are real versus artificial. But that gravel is a kind of a recipe for not being able to grow the best plants until you really have a well cycled tank. Just like I was saying before, you need to let the fish poop build up for 6 months to a year, and that's why I wouldn't recommend gravel backing this tank unless you have something that's passed away or something really big that's there. But if it's just a little something that you want to make the water cleaner or whatever, just don't worry about it. Rivers clean themselves. That's the point of the algae as an organism, is that it cleans itself. It cleans up the nitrates and nitrites and the ammonia, which is great. And then your fish will eat it if you've got fish that do want to eat the algae. And if you don't want to have the algae in the first place, then you can cap everything with sand, and you can just not dose the water column as much. And by having lots and lots of plants rather than this, which I know plants are expensive, I know they're hard to get a hold of, but if you had a really thickly planted tank, you would never see a spike in any of those parameters. And right now you might not be seeing a spike, but what I'm guessing is happening is there's just enough water in here too that you're barely producing any biological waste of any amount that's an issue. But I do love Oscars. They're very intelligent. I'm also curious how they'll probably get along when they get bigger in this tank. But I think it's plenty big for now and for a while into the future. So have no fear there for now. But yeah, and I do understand, Steve, the idea that the snails look like they're not doing enough. Yeah, well, the snails are only going to eat certain kinds of algae. Most snails are going to just munch on slowly hair algae, and sometimes they'll eat it if they're really like hungry or bored. But most of the time, they're going to go for anything else that they can find, even if that's, I don't know, fruit flies flying in. Let's take a look at this tank. So this tank is going to be that earthen tank, the Wallstead style. Now these, I always let these sit a really long time, and it's good to have it wet before you add the rest of the water. Let it sit overnight to keep that mud and silt and debris down, because it'll naturally settle, especially if you kind of jiggle the whole tank a little bit, almost like you would with a can of paint or something. Then you can get the formulation of how you want to set up your substrate just right. And I like sand caps. Like I said, if you can go to a local river or creek and get a cap that's made out of granite or quartz based ground up little pieces of sand, that's phenomenal. If you're down in like Florida or the Gulf Coast, then you're going to have silicate and calcium carbonate, carbon based sand that's from all the little sea creatures and from limestone and stuff, and that's going to mess with your TDS. And depending on what your goals are, if you want Tanganyikan fish or whatnot, then that's fine. That'll counter the acidic effect that this dirt with organic compounds, obviously can handle. Definitely more plants in here would be my suggestion ASAP too. And again, you want spots with, you want to put the plants, and I know it's early to say much about this right now, but you want spots with places to put the plants all over, to be pulling from the whole area, so you don't have one big patch that doesn't have anything feeding off of its nutrients, even if they're little annoying teeny tiny plants or whatever that you kind of feel are in your way. All right, so now another look at the bigger tank, which this was the the Gourami and the, oh no, this is the Beischer and the Oscar nearest. Let's see here. But I have a video that goes something to the effect. Oops, sorry. Come on, mouse. You can do it. I believe in you. I like the stand too. It looks pretty nice. It looks like there's two hang off the back filters. You could also, I see a pre-filter on this one, but you could add a pre-filter to that one. That'll give you more peace of mind. That's going to have just as much surface area as almost this entire back tray. And if you don't believe me, I should do a demonstration of that those smaller ones carry a whole lot. So let's see, what do we see in here? Oh, okay, so they're all right. I don't see the bite. That's not the Beischer, is it? No, that's a thermometer. Did anybody see the Beischer? Maybe the Beischer's hiding, but that's another thing that I was going to say, is that there needs to be some more hiding spots for your critters, hopefully, so that they can feel relaxed and at home. Now, the Oscars may not go down into like a full-on cave or hiding spot very often, but they will, they will still utilize some of those, some of those special spots, like an overhang with rock or a nice chunk of wood that goes up in the tank. And so that's another thing you could do with this tank, is to build vertically with the hardscape a little bit more. Break up the lines of sight so that the Oscars, if they start giving each other trouble, but hopefully growing up together, they won't cause a ton of trouble. So if I don't know if they're siblings or not, or where you got them, but that definitely does also help their attitude. But some dither fish would be nice also, you know, or a few something in here to just kind of break up the lines of sight and the pattern. So you've got the logs, you've got plants, and then you want to make sure that they're actual submerged plants that can live underwater, and not like these at least what I'm assuming here is like the lucky bamboo type stuff maybe. The Java fern is legit. It looks like temple plants are also, but you can see this one's melting right there in the center leftish area. Well, now I guess it's just straight center. And then these are probably Ludwigia or something, but they're real leggy. So this means there's almost no nutrients in this water. So the none of this cycling has probably really happened too heavily on a holistic sense. You probably got your day-to-day cycling, but not a really robust ecosystem with little micro flora and fauna for babies to eat if you want to try to breed them, or which is always a fun thing to watch. Floating plants are another great idea. I would recommend water lettuce and like salvinia or azolla of some sort, just to pull the nitrites out of the water. And then you can deal with those much easier than duckweed, because duckweed just gets out of control, out of hand like crazy. So as you all must know, I'm sure. But I am envious of having a big old tank like that. That is pretty amazing to get big tanks like that. I'm so used to the small ones. All right, guys, going back and see what's going on in the chat. But there's not a whole lot to say about some of these. As far as you can give your advice on what would look good, but yeah, send some pictures of your jars, Jeff. I'd love that. Just send them to my email, which is alexanderjwilliamson@gmail.com. Yes, azolla is a nitrogen fixer. It doesn't pull nitrogen from the water as much as the atmosphere. If you put azolla in distilled water, it will add nitrogen or add nitrates over time. Oh, that's pretty interesting. I remembered that it was a nitrogen fixer, but I never really thought about that idea that it would be pulling it into the water system, because I always just think of it as it populates to its expansion point in its inevitable lifespan in the tank, and then it's at a size where it's all over my freaking tank, and I'm like, all right, you're coming out now, so I end up removing it anyways. But yeah, it is an interesting one in that it can feed turn the free nitrogen into usable nitrogen. That is very cool little tidbit about azolla. All right, let's see here, you guys. Do we have any last questions? I am just letting you guys know that my mind is starting to melt. My new thing is floating limnophilia aromatica. It smells very nice. I understand why they have tried cooking with it. It smells very nice. Let's see here. All right. My ponds are covered in azolla now. It's so hot. I'm leaving it for the shade to help cool the water for now. So, Ossia Llewellyn, that is an interesting idea, because if it's not in direct sun, that should work. If it's in direct sun, it actually may be acting as a heat cover, a heat dome, so to speak. So you may want to take the water temperature reading with and without it completely covering, because your water needs to be able to exchange through evaporation. Otherwise, it'll just keep heating. Advice on pogo stem and hell fry or hell fairy. You know, it's a little bit of a touchy plant. You want real soft water for it, and lots of potassium. I tend to bury it in the sand and then have its roots starting to touch the layer below. It likes to seek for a layer. It likes to find like a rock hold that it's going to be comfortable on, and then it's going to plant itself like a little hair grass, you know, and it gets pretty good size usually. um Ingus, hey Alex, wondering if you have any plans for a Discord server. Been wanting to discuss fishery, secret history in your aquarium. Maybe. I mean, I'm still thinking about it. I'm kind of waiting to see how a few other things pan out on other people's channels before I do that. But we do have the Facebook group. We do have the community tab for members, which is only $1.99, which I get. Not everybody can afford that. That's fine. People have lots of subscriptions already. But for those of you who do have it, when you comment, I can also set my comments to prioritize that. And I do that now because I don't want to miss member comments if I can help it. So they kind of have a direct line to me, whereas the other sorting is either direct members that are currently working, and then my brain's getting all fuzzy, guys. I gotta wind down. You vote Discord server. Okay, well, maybe we will get one going, guys. I know a lot of you do want to get one going, so let's some of us don't use Facebook. I get that. You know, if you want, all right, fishery, but I think Discord offers much more in the way of a place to discuss than Facebook. Yeah, you know, the thing is, if we have a Discord chat, I don't want to have to do anything to it daily. I just want to be able to share information here and there, stop by and see what's up. Nirvana Aquatics, I trust you a lot, obviously, and Jeff Kane too. Yeah, we'll do a poll. We'll probably do a poll in the community tab in the next few days or something. It's a lot of work to manage. Yeah, and I don't want to impose that on someone. It has to be somebody who really wants to do that already, who wants a community of certain minded people. And you know, you don't want to just be like, oh, were we all like, you know, the same fish or whatever. Like, you got to break it up into interesting groups and things like that. But maybe we could also break it up into like most recent video and like thoughts and shared news articles and shared research that I've done from each and every one of those that gets posted as a headliner kind of thing. That might be something I'm willing to commit to. Yeah, I'll definitely be selecting the mods, of course. Unofficial Discord, let the community decide. Sure. Let's do it, guys. Yeah, I agree. And yes, there are a lot of good people in this community that I do trust that I think would be all right. I just don't personally want to have to do another 2 to 4 hours or whatever it ends up being a week of social media work, or specific content, and then having to have a certain format size and this and that. Even though I know it's not so bad, but when when you're using Twitter for the research, and you're using the you know, different browsers, you're using your email to correspond with people, you're using your text messages, you're using your Facebook, your Instagram, even though I don't use that a ton anymore. And then there's also everything from TikTok to the news to books. I mean, it gets overwhelming, all the different outputs of it. ABC Aquatic Biotope, what is going on? I hope you're doing well. Okay. Well, I'll have to figure out who we're gonna assign. It's definitely gonna be some of the people who are already like in the admin role or who I've been thinking about for that. Um, so yeah, let's put a pin in it, but not for long. Let's come up with something sooner than later. And I'd love to get that going for you guys. Guys, I am going to get out of here. I am starting to really fade and get tired as far as my eyes and my train of thought. So I wanted to thank you guys. We'll hit more tanks. We'll hit them in more rapid succession, more rapid fire with more info. Again, soon, maybe next time, not sure. But I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, and yeah, that's it. Thank you so much, super chatters. You guys were incredible tonight. Lurkers, you were incredible tonight. No, yes, you were lurkers. I don't know about incredible. Let's say you were adequate. If you haven't made yourself known, you were adequate. If you did make yourself known, yes, you were marvelous. Stay curious. That's right. Deuces, Nirvana. All right. I think we got it. Thanks for the stream. Take care of yourself. Yeah, I will. I will. I'm gonna go see what the wifey's up to in the other room, and I may this weekend release another episode of looking at some of these tanks and trying to kind of trim it down into bite size, like maybe 3 to 5 minute review of their tank after a brief introduction of the tank. And when I say of their, I mean of yours, because you guys are the ones who submitted them. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye, guys. Muppet. End broadcast. Why will it not end?